Hello everybody, this is Kyukon commentating my second game ever. Got a good Protoss vs Protoss match for you today. In the top right, the red Protoss, we have WhiteRa, who changed his name to DuckloadRa in the retail version of the game, not sure why. And the bottom left, we have mouzMaNa from the mouseSports clan. Not really sure who he is, but if it's a good game versus WhiteRa, he must be a pretty high tier player too to put up a fight against him. This is my second commentated game ever. If you watched the first one, sorry about the audio. It should be a lot better this time, as I think I've fixed the problems. My voice should sound better and it should be louder. So hopefully all that's worked out. Anything else to talk about during the boring part of the game? I don't think so. That's about it. If you guys like my videos, please, drop me a comment. Let me know what I can do next time. Still working on the whole commentating thing, so let me know what you think, please. I really appreciate any feedback you have. But anyway, yeah, Protoss vs Protoss could be a pretty good match. Nothing real special happening for either person right now. Doing very similar builds, both just, pylon and gateway so far. Both doing scouting at about the same time. Still nothing special. WhiteRa is known to be one of the best Protoss players in some people's opinions, so, I mean, as far as having good rep goes, he definitely has the advantage here. And still, no one's doing anything special. mouzMaNa got gas before WhiteRa by a while, actually, so maybe he's going for more of a gas-oriented build, maybe just preference of when they put out their buildings, who knows. But yeah, so far still nothing major happening. Everyone's just doing their opening shenanigans, as I like to say. And looking, income still about the same. WhiteRa still hasn't gotten on gas yet, while mouzMaNa's ahead of them on that. Same harvester count though. Everyone's still just pumping out their original units. Doesn't look like there's going to be any early rushing going on in this game. Cybernetics core up for WhiteRa, as well as mouzMaNa, who I would think he would have gotten the Cybernetics core up earlier than WhiteRa did, since he's been getting earlier gas, but maybe that's just, preference in building and I'm just overthinking it. Who knows? mouzMaNa doing a pretty funny job kiting his probe around from the Zealot, who finally manages to get him. Looks like WhiteRa's doing the same thing down here, just playing with the Zealots, kiting his probe around. He got some minerals from his base too. Oh man, that's gonna be game changing if he gets his minerals back. But Stalker's coming out for both players, it looks like, so still seeing very similar builds. Nothing. Yeah, WhiteRa's now getting ahead of the gas from mouzMaNa, so yeah, warp gate going up for both players most likely. Yeah, very evenly timed warp gates. This is looking to be a very mirror match. Yep, oh no, looks like WhiteRa is going with the robotics facility while mouzMaNa is getting a second gateway, so finally seeing some, variability here in this game. It's not going to be exactly the same at least. Still nothing major going on as far as, some cool battles or anything. Should be getting intense soon. Robotics facility and 2 more gateways being dropped down for WhiteRa. Just another pylon, so he's got good 4 production facilities coming up soon. As mouzMaNa is still he's getting his robotics facility now too, turning into another just kind of mirror thing. Nothing changing from player to player aside from preference and build order. And both players have the same amount of minerals, basically the same income coming in. Units are looking just about the same. Got a Stalker over a Zealot here, not really a big deal at all. Starting to produce Immortals for WhiteRa and warping into warp gates. Looks like, yeah, nothing real special coming up. Sentry versus Immortal, no big deal. Both players doing lots of scouting, making sure there's nothing sneaky happening from the other player. As both players are just now building up their armies, still both working off one base, still they both have the same production facilities. No one really has the advantage right now, aside from Xel'Naga control from WhiteRa, which isn't really, game changing at all. three warp gates in a Robo Bay versus 2 warp gates in a Robo Bay. Getting a 3rd gateway now, obviously, you know, gotta be exactly the same, or it's just not fun. And yeah, army sizes, they're looking pretty even. Just WhiteRa has an Immortal in there, while Mana doesn't yet. It's not even producing out of his robotics bay. Probably trying to bring in the Observer to see what's going on over there. Proxy Pylon coming in for WhiteRa, so there is finally doing something fun. He has 2 pylons up now, and doesn't look like his Observer or Probe scouted either of those, so WhiteRa could get some good warps in there. And WhiteRa is moving out as the Observer comes in. Did see what he's producing, making sure he's not having any sneaky expansions. Mana seems to have, you know, just the same army size as WhiteRa. Did warp in more Stalkers from that Proxy Pylon, and the fight is going to come out right here as both players have very equal sized armies trying to attack, and WhiteRa backs up. Oh, looks like he's moving in with still one Immortal, almost exact same army compositions actually. Just going to be a micro battle right here to see who takes it, as WhiteRa is deciding to push in all the way. And looks like Mana's trying to stay back, waiting. Oh, wow. Warp Prism coming in. He's doing a surround attack. Has his Zealots in the back attacking while his main army's attacking up front. And Mana's getting cornered here. Finally, he does have the advantage of warping in units in his base while this battle's going on. WhiteRa's bringing in more units from that Proxy Pylon, falling back while he brings them all together. And just sniping the Zealots, continuing to push in now with all of his Stalkers. Doing a very good job against the Zealots, as he's still warping in Zealots from that Warp Prism. It looks like it now got taken out. And WhiteRa is doing a very good push, very good Zealots coming in for the Warp Prism in the back with his main attack. And Mana just trying to hold on here. He's warping in more units. WhiteRa's really pushing hard here. Looks like he's holding back his 2nd army, waiting for another separate push. Forced to pulling probes off the line to take care of this. You just gotta hate when it comes down to that, but it looks like WhiteRa is still managing to very good micro, moving one shot at a time, taking out all the units. Oh man, Mana's finally bringing in enough units that's gonna be able to take this down after losing a lot of probes. Income's gonna show it. Wow, look at that. Now still has more workers than WhiteRa, even after losing, I'd say about 6. That's very good. Definitely wasting more money on those probes, but it looks like it's paid off as he still has better income than WhiteRa right now. And WhiteRa warping in his 2nd army. Looks like just falling back now, going to rebuild his army, knowing that he at least he thinks he has the advantage after he took out all those probes. But I mean, still very even game. Robotics Bay coming out for WhiteRa. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Colossus or Colossi. Another Warp Prism coming out. Probably going to try another one of those drops, as it was very successful the first time. Neither player's expanding it either. Looks like Mana's just, you know, quickly trying to regain his army while he's building, hoping that, you know, he can be ready the next time it happens. Should have his Observer up there really watching to see if it happens again. Warp Prism trying to be sneaky going around. WhiteRa just warping in more units, building up his army, getting ready for that 2-pronged attack. And now it's just a game of waiting, seeing who's going to strike first. I'm sure WhiteRa was expecting some retaliation attack, but it's not happening, as Mana, I mean, really just lost a lot more army than he was hoping to have. And the Robotics Bay going up for Mana as well, who's trying to hide it back there, but that Warp Prism's probably going to see it. So Colossi going to be coming out for both teams in the near future. As WhiteRa's Chrono boosting out of Colossi now, going to be with his first push most likely, and that's what he's waiting for. Where Mana is pretty far back in the Colossi battle, so if WhiteRa can attack before that Colossi comes out, it could be a very big deal. It could deal some very good damage. Extended Thermal Lance most likely coming out for both players. Yep, very even timing here. I mean, both players still have very similar army compositions, but I do believe that WhiteRa should be ahead now after his first push. I mean, very even looking though. No one really has a huge advantage. And WhiteRa with his probe gets taken out. And it looks like Mana is kind of getting the ANC ready to move out, as WhiteRa is as well. This next push could be exactly the same, just down to a micro battle, which WhiteRa did a very good job with the first time, really, with those 2 Stalkers and that Immortal he had, taking out a lot of probes and just kiting his army around. And Warp Prism's still dancing around back there, hoping that, you know, he's just waiting for a right time, as looks like Mana's moving at a few Stalkers right now, just to, you know, test the ground, see what's going on with his army. And WhiteRa might want to be hiding these Colossi. Getting on the second one now, and the extended thermal lance is done, probably for both players, so yeah, I mean, very even, very solid armies for both people. Pulling probes off the line is the Warp Prism warped in when I missed it, and it continued to harass probes as his mana is just cleaning up now. He had a problem. It looks like he lost a few workers. Still not that many. He's still very saturated in his base compared to WhiteRa, who they both have a lot of harvesters for one base now. And WhiteRa seems to be deciding whether or not he should move out, as he is winning with the Colossi army right now. He has more Colossi. Ooh, supply block there. That kind of stinks. And Mana's moving out now, thinking that he has the advantage with his Colossi and just taking care of that Warp Prism recently, which will probably be back any minute. It's moving around now, 3 zealots. And there's a big attack going on. Both armies very even. More Colossi for WhiteRa, and he does have the high ground. Looks like that's helping him a lot, as he seems to be taking out Mana's army very efficiently with, wow. That really stinks for Mana. He just got taken out pretty well. Just barely making it out with one Colossi and a Zealot, which is probably going to get sniped any second now. And Mana's going to have to kite with his Colossi, try and take out these Zealots that are running ahead. Probes being pulled off the line again because he did another Warp Prism attack with that main attack. Man, those 3 Zealots are doing good damage, forcing him to back up with his Colossi, take care of that, as WhiteRa continues to push farther into the base. Pushing all the way into his army, not bothering the buildings, doing another big attack. Colossi getting probes in there, attacking everything. Very good Colossi positioning for WhiteRa, as he's just completely wiping out his probe lines. Oh my gosh, man has lost 10 units already. This Colossi has 3 gains. Oh, that's going to be GG as his probe line gets wiped out. Very good micro from WhiteRa. As you can see, you know, micro really does matter, since the armies were very even. Just Warp Prism, better strategy, and WhiteRa takes the game. And that's going to be it for me. This is Kyukon signing out. Thanks a lot, guys.